Good afternoon. I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. China is urging the Philippines to meet them halfway on the issue of maritime disputes in the West Philippine Sea. In a statement, Chinese embassy in Manila said that Beijing is ready to continue talks about maritime issues with Manila. The embassy is also hoping that the Philippines will meet China halfway and make joint efforts to start negotiations soon. The statement comes just days after Chinese vessels blocked and fired water cannons at Philippine supply ships en route to the Ayungin shoal. Meanwhile, China claims that it has repeatedly demanded the removal of the BRP Sierra Madre from Ayungin. According to China, the ambassador met with then Foreign Affairs Secretary Domingo Siazon and other Philippine officials in November of 1999 to demand the removal of the warship. The Philippine government earlier denied making such promises, saying there are no documents or verbal agreements to support Beijing's claims. Meanwhile, one maritime law expert wants Chinese ambassador to the Philippines, Huang Xilian, to be declared persona non grata. UP Institute for Maritime Affairs and Law of the Sea Director, Professor J. Batongbakal told 1PH that Huang seems to have little respect for the Philippines. The Chinese envoy has since been summoned by the Philippine government after the latest bullying incident in the West Philippine Sea.
Persona non grata na yung ambassador na yan eh. Yun ang hirap dyan sa China eh. Akala nila puppet lang tayo, no? Na minamanipulate lang ng US. Hindi sila naniniwala na meron tayong sariling soberenya, no? Kaya ganyan ang trato nila sa atin. At kung sincero sila na gustong i-continue yung dialogo, eh di papalitan naman nila. Ilang beses nang nagsasalita itong sugo nila, walang respeto sa atin eh.
And the United States Defense Department stressed that the Philippines has the right to supply and resupply its ship in the Ayungin shoal. In a recent phone call, U.S. Defense Chief Lloyd Austin III and Philippine Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro discussed the situation in the West Philippine Sea. Austin also disapproved of China's interference with the resupply mission to the Sierra Madre. The U.S. official said China's actions directly threaten regional peace and stability. It also reaffirmed that any armed attack on Philippine assets in the South China Sea will invoke its commitment under the Mutual Defense Treaty. Time to take a quick break. One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're back on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Unemployment went up slightly in the month of June. The country's unemployment rate stood at 4.5% in June, or about 2.33 million jobless Filipinos. The latest figure is slightly higher than the 4.3% or 2.17 million jobless Filipinos logged in May. Underemployment also climbed month-on-month to 12% in June. That's equivalent to some 5.87 million Filipinos looking to work longer hours or seeking additional jobs. The June figure is slightly higher than the 11.7% in May. PSA data shows that the services sector continues to make up most of the labor force. And at least 13 food manufacturers are seeking price hikes for basic goods. This includes canned sardines and meat, powdered and evaporated milk, as well as coffee and bottled water. According to Trade Undersecretary Ruth Castello, manufacturers want a 1 to 5% increase or price increase up to 7 pesos. For its part, the Philippine Amalgamated Supermarkets Association says this request will help cover costs for increases in workers' wages as well. The group explains that manufacturers are careful to not raise prices too much to affect consumption.
Because of the salary increase, no, lahat ng industriya tatamaan yan. Siyempre, hindi lang manufacturing. Kasi siyempre, how do you cover the increase in salaries? Kapag tumaas ka, baka mabawasan ang market share mo, baka. Diba? So, ingat na ingat ang manufacturers kung mag-adjust ang presyo, not in a way na mabawasan ang market share nila.
With regard to the country's rice supply, President Marcos has assured the public that there is enough rice stock to last even after the El Nino phenomenon next year. The president gave this assurance after a meeting with industry players in Malacanang. Marcos was quoted as saying that the rice situation is manageable and stable. At that meeting, DA Undersecretary Mercedita Sombilio said if the current level of production is maintained, the Philippines will have a projected rice buffer stock of at least 1.9 million metric tons by the end of the year, which is good for 52 days. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top story. The government plans to increase the share of debt payments in the proposed 5.7 trillion peso budget for 2024. Based on the budget of expenditures and sources of financing, 12.1% of the budget, or some 699 billion pesos, will be allocated to settling debt payments for 2024. This is slightly higher than the 11.6% share, or about 611 billion pesos, that was allocated to service debts this year. The MMDA has announced that no roadwork and mall-wide sales will be conducted in several areas from August 17 to September 10. This is to give way for the upcoming FIBA World Cup on August 25. The agency says this should ensure that all affected roads will remain passable, clean, and safe for all types of vehicles and pedestrians during the FIBA World Cup. Baguio City has declared a state of calamity after the onslaught of Typhoon Egay. The City of Pines reports that damages from the typhoon has hit 18.4 million pesos. This declaration allows the city government to access its Quick Response Fund for services related to rehabilitation and recovery. One News Now will be back at 3:15 p.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.